The story begins with Jake Sully, a paraplegic former Marine, reflecting on his life after a combat injury left him with what he calls a big hole blown through the middle of my life. He dreams of flying and laments the harsh reality that his veteran benefits won't cover the expensive medical procedures needed to repair his spinal injury. Jake admits that all he ever wanted was a single thing worth fighting for. Jake's life takes an unexpected turn when he is approached to take over his deceased twin brother Tommy's contract with the Avatar program on the distant moon of Pandora. Tommy, a scientist, represented a significant investment for the company. Because Jake shares Tommy's identical genome, he is given the opportunity to step into his shoes and begin a fresh start in a new world, where he could do something important and make a difference. Despite feeling like just another dumb grunt compared to his brilliant brother, Jake accepts the offer, viewing it as a chance to find a new purpose. He then embarks on a nearly 6-year journey in cryosleep to reach Pandora. Upon arrival, Jake is immediately introduced to the dangerous environment of Pandora. The head of security warns him, "Out there beyond that fence, every living thing that crawls, flies, or squats in the mud wants to kill you and eat your eyes for jujubes." He learns about the indigenous Nasics, a humanoid species who are formidable warriors. They use arrows tipped with a fast-acting neurotoxin that can stop a heart in a minute, and they possess carbon fiber-reinforced bones, making them very hard to kill. Jake is introduced to the Avatar program, in which humans remotely operate genetically engineered bodies, avatars, created from a blend of human and Nasics DNA. He meets Dr. Grace Augustine, the respected head of the program and a leading expert on Pandora. Grace is initially dismissive of Jake, stating that she needed his scientist brother, not a jarhead dropout. Jake also meets Norm Spellman, another Avatar driver who trained with Tommy. Jake learns that he was selected for the program solely because his identical genetics allow him to link with Tommy's already grown and insanely expensive Avatar. The underlying motivation behind the human presence on Pandora soon becomes clear. The Resources Development Administration, RDA, is there to mine a rare and valuable mineral called unobtainium, which sells for $20 million a kilo. Unfortunately, the largest deposit lies directly beneath Home Tree, the sacred home of the Omaticaya clan of Nasics. Colonel Quaritch, the RDA's head of security, sees the Nasics as a barrier to the operation. He recruits Jake to infiltrate the Nasics and provide intelligence on how to gain their cooperation, or force them out. In exchange, Quaritch promises Jake that he'll ensure he receives the surgery to restore his legs once his mission is complete. Masquerading as part of Grace's research team, Jake begins living in his avatar body. At first he struggles to adapt. During one of his early missions, Jake becomes separated from the group and is nearly killed. He is rescued by Neytiri, a Nasics woman who initially views him with disdain. Though she calls him stupid and says he is ignorant like a child, she also sees that he has a strong heart and shows no fear. Jake pleads with her to teach him how to see like the Nasics, marking the beginning of a transformation that will change the fate of both his life and Pandora itself. Through Neytiri, Jake is gradually immersed in Nasics culture, learning their language, Nari, customs, and deep spiritual connection to Pandora, particularly to Iwa, their deity, described as a network of energy that flows through all living things. He begins to understand the flow of energy, the spirits of animals, and the sacred balance of nature that the Nasics uphold. He meets Imoat, the clan's spiritual leader, akin to a shaman, and Itukin, the clan chief, Neytiri's parents. He also encounters Tsute, the warrior expected to become the next clan leader and Neytiri's intended mate. As Jake gradually earns the trust of the Omaticaya, he becomes more aware of the destructive presence of the RDA. He witnesses firsthand the consequences of their interference, including a now-abandoned school that was originally built to foster relations with the Nasics but has since been repurposed for storage. He learns that the Nasics stopped sending their children there after a tragic incident in which Neytiri's sister, Silwanin, referred to as San in excerpts, and other young hunters protesting against deforestation were killed by RDA troops at the school. The more time Jake spends with the Nasics, the deeper his respect for their way of life becomes, and he falls in love with Neytiri. He participates in their rites of passage, learning to ride a dire horse, named Al, and later bonding with his own Ikran Banshee, a significant and dangerous initiation where he will try to kill you. Jake successfully completes this ritual and goes even further by taming a Tauric, great Leonopteryx, a fearsome creature only ridden 5 times in Nasik's history. This act earns him the title Tauric Makto, a legendary figure who unites the clans in times of great crisis, symbolizing Jake's full integration into Nasik's society. Meanwhile, tensions rise as the RDA, led by Parker Selfridge, grows impatient with the lack of progress in relocating the Nasiks from Hometree. Selfridge views them as savages, standing in the way of valuable unobtainium. He pressures Grace to offer a carrot to persuade the Nasiks, warning that otherwise, it will be all stick. Jake becomes increasingly torn between his mission for Quaritch and his allegiance to the Nasiks. Though he initially provides intelligence, including sensitive information about the Tree of Souls, Vitreya Ramyunong, the Nasiks' most sacred site, his loyalties shift as he fully embraces their values. He ultimately chooses Neytiri as his mate before Iwa, a deeply spiritual commitment witnessed by the clan, and unfortunately also by RDA surveillance, exposing his betrayal. Seeing diplomacy as a failure, the RDA launches a brutal attack on Hometree using gas and incendiary bombs. Despite Grace's pleas that there are innocent families and children inside, the assault continues. Hometree is destroyed, many Nasiks are killed, and the Omaticea are left displaced. Jake, having tried to warn them, is now seen by the RDA as a traitor and fully commits himself to the Nasiks' cause. He rallies the remaining Nasiks and sends messages to allied clans, the Horse clans of the Plain, and the Ikran people of the Eastern Sea, to unite against the human invaders. A massive battle follows in the floating Hallelujah Mountains, where the planet's magnetic flux disrupts human instruments and missile tracking. Despite the RDA's technological advantage, the Nasiks, fighting with bows, arrows, and intimate knowledge of the terrain, fiercely resist, aided by Jake's leadership and the very creatures of Pandora. In the final confrontation, Colonel Quaritch, piloting a powerful AMP suit, faces off against Jake. Though the battle is intense and costly, with key losses such as the destruction of the RDA's bomber, the Nasiks ultimately triumph. Neytiri kills Quaritch, saving Jake in the process. In the aftermath, most humans are forced to leave Pandora and return to their dying Earth, while a small group of scientists are permitted to stay. Jake, through a sacred ritual at the Tree of Souls and with Iwa's help, permanently transfers his consciousness into his avatar body. He chooses to remain with Neytiri and the Omaticea, fully embracing his new identity and purpose. His final video log marks the end of one life and the beginning of another. The time of great sorrow has passed, and Tauric Makto is no longer needed in the same way.